Iti namine namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Srinivadi Prashachati Satani. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gauravata Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. Thank you all for coming. Today I believe is the 9th of May. The 9th, Monday. It's Friday, I'm sorry. And this is Vrindavan, India. On Fridays we do the Bhagavad Gita, and we're undertaking a 6-month preliminary Bhakti Shastri program. And we're now in the final module, because Bhakti Shastri starts in July. And some of the participants have wished to prepare for that. So what we've done is, instead of taking a Bhagavad Gita overview for 1 year, we've compressed it to half a year for the sake of some students here, for all of you who come. So in this module, which is from May through June, we're doing the 3rd section of the Bhagavad Gita called Jnana Yoga. And the first chapter of that is 13. So we began that last Friday, but I felt that it was essential for us to know more about that chapter. So we're allotting time today, and even though we have so many guests, this particular session is designed especially to create study cards, so you also have a packet. But I think you'll all find this useful, because a study card is a wise investment of your time. The time will be spent, but if you invest it in packets and study cards, you'll find you have a simple reference. Okay. So the first thing we do when we have guests is, in our mood of personalism, Krishna is a person, we ask all of the participants to please use the slates that are in your tray. We just take a moment. We like to make the analogy of our classes to that of an airplane flight. So this is Bhagavad Gita flight 1335. And usually on airplanes they'll have things like this for children. Some of the airlines provide slates. But anybody can benefit, you'll see. It's not just a child's toy. It's our standard equipment. Okay, so on your slate, if you will take a moment to write your name in print, very simply. Okay. Use print, because print is easier to read. Okay. So my name is Yashoda. Okay. And if you'll all do that, and those of you who are standard participants, if you'll try to assist the guests, it's wise to try to help the guests. Okay? So, Anand Mohan, you're between a couple of guests there, and Neela, well, you can keep an eye on, try to help, in other words, help each other out. This is a study buddy program. Okay? So once you've written your name, and it's nice and large, we go around the room and we let each other know who we are. Okay, so my name is Yashoda. And we have a guest here from Belgaum. Okay? Okay, now you have to hold it up. And it's Nandanandana. Everybody can say the name now? Nandanandana. In our process, we hear, see, say, and write. We do 4 things. So don't be shy, because throughout the whole period you'll be active. Okay? And you'll either be hearing, seeing, saying, or writing, or all 4 at once. Okay, so who is this again? Nanda, that's good. That's nice kirtan. All right, and next to him is? Yes, I know you, but they don't. So hold up your, and what's her name? Madhuri Devi Dasi. Okay, now one skill. We teach skills here, not just material. So one skill in study and teaching is to do a yo-yo practice. You go back and forth and back and forth. A yo-yo is a wooden toy that goes up and down. So this is Nandanandana, and who's that? Madhuri Devi Dasi. Because in South India they actually learn Shastra that way. They study that way. So this is not a concoction. Okay? Next to Madhuri Devi Dasi is, hold it up so they can see. What's her name? Can you see it? Kamala. Everyone should say? Kamala. Nice and loud. Even those people who speak Hindi, they'll know these words. Can you say? Not yet, but her name is Kamala. Kamala. You can say her name, Kamala. We'll get to you. Kamala. So this is Nandanandana, Madhuri Devi Dasi, Kamala. And next to her is Gaurangi. Say it again. Gaurangi. All right, really fast. Now when you're revising, everything I say is an educational tip. You have to increase the speed or it becomes drudgery. So it becomes a sport. Every time you do it more quickly, right? So he is who? Nandanandana, Madhuri Devi Dasi, Kamala, and Gaurangi. Okay? Because by the end, you should know it, and you should know it quickly. That's the idea of this kind of a practice. Now, all these, he's particularly working in the school, so these are the way we operate. Okay? And it works, you'll see. Okay. It's different, but it's authorized. Okay, next to there is Radhika Priya. What's her name again? Now, you notice we say things 3 times. I say it, I turn what I say into a question. And then you give the answer. 3 times. Everything I say, I turn it into a question, and then you give the answer. That way you have heard it how many times?
3 times.
You've heard it 3 times. Right, once is not enough. Not in Kali Yuga. Okay, this is who? Nandanandana, Madhuri Devi Dasi, Kamala, Gaurangi, Radhika Priya. Okay, now by now you should start to know these people. That's another point. If you know the people in the class, the tendency is to be more of a bonded family. If you don't know who's next to you, it's impersonalism. Okay, so we help each other out. We have study buddies. And we aim for no failure and no competition. We aim for everybody learns it at the level of 100%. Otherwise, what's the point? Okay. All right, now we have a guest. And your name is?
Pretty.
Pretty? Is it Pretty? Pretty. Okay, everybody see her name? Pretty. Okay, we're going to start again. Nandanandana, Madhuri, Kamala, Gaurangi, Radhika Priya, and Pretty. So now everybody who never knew her will see her in the temple and say, Hare Krishna, Pretty. Right? That's a good advantage because you see faces and then you never see, and you're afraid to say hello. And then you can't remember the name, so now you remember Preeti when we see you. Where are you from, Benares?
Yeah.
Nice to have you here. Okay, very good. Okay, next to her is another guest, and her name is, I can't see it that far. Barsha? V-A-R-S-A? Barsha? Barsha, okay. Did everybody hear it? You heard it, Barsha. Okay, let's start again. Nandanandana, Madhuri Devi Dasi, Kamala, Gaurangi, Radhika Priya, Preeti, and Barsha. Okay, and then we have a cameraman in there. Don't be afraid, ladies. We work on the soul level. We don't worry about the external temporary costume we're wearing. Okay, you can see we have men and women wearing costumes. These are dresses, costume. And this is Anand Mohan. Who is that? Anand Mohan. Very good. So we'll start again. Nandanandana, Madhuri Devi Dasi, Kamala, Gaurangi, Radhika Priya, Preeti, Barsha, Anand Mohan. Sitting on his lap is a 3-year-old. All right. Neela Madhava. Who's that? Neela Madhava. Right. He's our flight attendant. He makes sure that you get fruit before you go. We have a fruit platter on our flight. Okay, and he loves to pass out the fruit. Okay, and that is Neela Madhava. Okay, so we'll start again. Nandanandana, Madhuri Devi Dasi, Kamala, Gaurangi, Radhika Priya, Preeti, Barsha, Anand Mohan, and Neela Madhava. Okay, now, it's your turn. We've been waiting. Okay, and what's her name? Neela? Mina, right? Did I hear it right? Because I can't see it that far. It's Mina, right? M-E-E-N-A? Mina, welcome. At least you understand this much. You got your name. Okay, let's go around one more time. Nandanandana, Madhuri Devi Dasi, Kamala, Gurangi, Radhika Priya, Kriti, Varsha, Anand Mohan, Neela Madhava, and Mina. Wow. See? Did you notice everybody's smiling? If you're not smiling, you're not in the Brahmabhuta platform. So we want to get everybody to that platform. Okay, now we have another lady over here. Tulsi? Tushila. Tushila. Like Tushi. Like with a T, right? Tushila. Tushila. Oh, Shushila, like our friend. Yeah, we have a wonderful friend, Shushila. She sent me this iPad. I have a wonderful patron saint. She sent me this. Shushila, welcome. She'll be happy to see you if these videos get there. Okay, Shushila. Okay, now this may sound a little fun, but actually they play Sanskrit games where they go round and round and round and round and round and round, and by the end the kids really know this stuff. And everybody smiles. Okay? All right, so we'll come back to Nandanandana, Madhuri Devi Dasi, Kamala, Gurangi, Radhika Priya, Preeti, Varsha, Anand Mohan, Neela Madhava, Meena, and Shushila. And this is another Neela. They both have the same birthday. This is Neela Lakshmi. Neela Lakshmi. Yeah, she does book distribution in the Samadhi. You've probably seen her there. She's quite steady. All right, we're going to go around. Sometimes we break it in half, but I really want everybody, because we have a lot of guests today, to know everyone else. Okay? Nandanandana, Madhuri Devi Dasi, Kamala, Gurangi, Radhika Priya, Preeti, Sparsha, Anand Mohan, Neela Madhava, Meena, Shushila, Neela Lakshmi. Now we have somebody back here. This is a nice name, Krishna Mai. What's her name? Krishna Mai. She's an old friend of mine from the Bhakti Shastri days. Krishna Mai. And we have another person who has come from Belgaum, and we're going to catch his name too, because they're sort of on the wings here. And his name is Sham Paran. Is it Paran? Prana. Sham Prana, like breath, right? Sham Prana, the life of Sham. The life of Sham. The two of them are teaching. Well, he's the principal in a small school, and he's the math teacher. And they've come to get hopefully, some good ideas to take home. Hope you can benefit. Okay, so who is that again? Sham Prana. And this is Krishna Mai. All right. So we'll go around the last time now. Okay, Nandanandana, Madhuri Devi Dasi, Kamala, Gurangi, Radhika Priya, Preeti, Varsha, Anand Mohan, Meena, Shushila, Neela Lakshmi, and this is little Neela Madhava, Krishna Mai, and this is Sham Prana. Okay? Everybody got it? All right, now we're ready to go. First thing we need to do is find out the benefits of the study of the Bhagavad Gita. So please take out this handout that you have called the Gita Mahatmya. It's always important to know what are the features of the book that Prabhupada has presented to the world, Bhagavad Gita as it is. So in the first portion of the book, many devotees are even unaware that in the introduction at the end, verses from the Gita Mahatmya are shown. Gita Mahatmya is quite extensive, but there are 7 verses. And the reason we go over this is that we are reminded of the benefits of studying the Bhagavad Gita. What are we reminded of? Benefits of studying the Bhagavad Gita. Very good. And we have 6 texts that give us benefits, and 1 text that gives us how we say thank you to Krishna. If you're given something, you should say what? Thank you. And it's not just a verbal, it should be through actions, through service. So the 7th text teaches that. Now when we study, we do it a little differently. We compress what we want to learn into a single word. And those become anchor words, and then when we read, we have the general point. Okay, so what do? We what? We compress the material into a single word, that's essence. Sometimes it may not be the word there. And that way when we read the text, Our mind is not overloaded with too many details. We've already extracted it. Just like vanilla extract in the kitchen. Almond extract. You take the essence. Okay? So we will now give the essence, 7 essence words plus a signal. So please watch this. Now many here have done this every time, but it helps the rest visitors to see it. So our first text essence word is go. So all of you have to do the signal. Go. Right. Don't feel ashamed. Why do we do this? Because the body is 55% of communication. That's a lot. So what's your first signal? Go. And you remember quickly the 7 words. Second signal is what? Stop. So we repeat. Go, stop. Our third signal word is wash. Wash, okay? Go, stop, wash. Our fourth signal word is read. Okay, now quickly, see if you can remember the words. Go, stop, wash, read. Okay? Now the next one on the fifth side, on the fifth text, is never. Never. Okay, now we have 5 to remember, so let's try it. Go, stop, wash, read, never. Okay? The 6th one is a nectar word. Drink. Drink. We drink nectar, right? Go, stop, wash, read, never, drink. Now number 7 is how we say thank you. Krishna is giving us 6 benedictions. We should be grateful. Half a spiritual life, Prabhupada said, is appreciation. If you're not appreciative, you'll say there's no God, or if you think there is one, he's not important. Okay. But the last thing we do to say thank you is we serve. Yeah, practical service, not just emotions with no evidence. Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada said, bhakti is devotional service. Yes. Because other people could say, oh, Krishna, we love you, right? But they don't show it. So that's not our program. Okay? Let's run through the 7 again. Go, stop, wash, read, never, drink, and serve. All right, so now you know how to do that. So when you're studying, compress what you have to learn into one word. And then the rest falls into place. Now the next skill that we do is that we use our little finger on the right hand when we read. What do?
We use
Our little finger on the right hand when we read. Now people say, oh, I did that when I was 3 years old and I don't need to do that anymore. That's not true. The fastest readers in the world use their hands. They can get up to thousands of words a minute. They can read as fast as they can turn a page. How? They use their hand. So the reason we use our hand is that it keeps the mind on the text. Have you noticed how the mind flickers? It's here, it's there. But if it has to follow the finger, just like on your computer, you have the little cursor? Right, the cursor tells you, I'm going there. Without it, sometimes your cursor's not working and you can't select what you want. So this will be your cursor. And we always try to think of Krishna. So this is Krishna holding up his flute. Okay? So we're going to slide. What you do is you slide your hand under the text as if you were underlining. This is a new habit, but I guarantee it can improve reading rate by 30% just by doing that, without drills, without anything. And the second thing it does is it keeps the eyes from jiggling. The eyes, you don't know it, but they go like this. But the minute they look at something, they're fixed. So we have 2 benefits. The first one was we focus the mind. Second one was we fix the eyes. And we increase our speed. Okay? And concentration. All right, so when you read, all of you must do it. No exceptions. We don't let anybody sit there. Did you hear that, Madhuri? And your study partner will remind you nicely. Now you'll see. Okay? So are we ready? Okay. So I will read and you repeat after I stop. Okay, so now you know the essence word. The first one was go, and we want to know where we're going to go. One who recites this holy scripture.
One who recites the Holy Scripture,
The Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita,
Achieves the abode of Vishnu.
achieves the abode of Vishnu,
Which is always free
which is always free
from the mundane qualities
from the mundane qualities,
based on fear
based on fear
and lamentation.
and lamentation.
Now, did you find that helped when you read? You try it. It's going to take a little time to create new habits. But once you start it, you won't do without it. All right, text. Now, we're going to see what we stop. Number 2, we're going to stop something. One who is regularly engaged
One who is regularly engaged
in the study of the Bhagavad Gita
in the study of Bhagavad Gita
and in the practice of pranayam
and in the practice of pranayama
is never affected
is never affected
by the reactions
by the action
of his past misdeeds.
of his past misdeeds.
So you stop your karma. That's a nice benefit. Actually, Neela has managed to sell many Bhagavad Gitas just by showing people, in India even, what the benefits are from the Gita. They respect the Gita, but they often don't know it anymore or understand how valuable it is to study it. We don't want to just dust it on the shelf. We want to open it and study it, because here shows you, if you study it regularly, you stop your karma. Okay, our third one was wash. Now let's see what we're going to wash. By daily taking a bath in water, one may cleanse himself from impurities. But if one takes a bath even once in the sacred water of Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. So you see, we're conditioned. This is proof. That means we have contaminations from millions and millions of lifetimes. So by regularly studying the Bhagavad Gita, those impurities are washed away. They have to go. You cannot go to Krishna in an impure state. Okay, let's find out how we should read it now. Okay, our next one. The Bhagavad Gita is meant for careful recitation. And then there is no need for any other scripture. Because it has directly emanated from the lotus mouth of the Supreme Lord. So this book is sufficient in and of itself. All right, so now you remember all the key words? Does it help when you're reading? Pretty easy, because you can summarize. Try this in your studies. These skills work no matter what. If you have to study chemistry, physics, Sanskrit, it doesn't matter. These skills apply. All right, text now number 5. The word was never. Now let's see what happens in this one. You should be curious now. That's a motivational skill. By drinking the Ganges water of the Gita, the divine quintessence of the Mahabharata, emanating from Lord Vishnu's lotus mouth, one will never again take birth in the material world. That's a very important point. We are unfortunately trapped in the wheel of samsara, mrityu samsara. We don't know where we go after each body, but you have to keep going around the wheel through 8,400,000 species. And according to your activities, you have received this particular karmic, prarabdha karma. According to your present activities, at the end of this period, you'll be awarded another body according to higher authorities. You have no say about it. So one who's intelligent will wonder, what should I do to get the proper body, either for advancement or for getting out of the wheel? Because we're all trapped, all of us. Nobody here is an exception. Serious business. Okay, so if you study the Gita, you can get yourself out of that. Text 6. Now, some people think the Gita's, ABCs, no nectar there. But this is not true. Okay? All the Upanishads are compared to a cow. And the milkman is Sri Krishna, the son of Nanda. Arjuna is the calf. The great nectar of the Bhagavad Gita is the milk. And the fortunate devotees. And that includes all of you. Okay? A fine theistic intellect. Right, you have to have intelligence to take this Krishna consciousness. Are the enjoyers of that milk. So notice there's rasa in that milk. Why else would Sanjaya said, my hair is standing on end when I read the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, let's find out how we say thank you. There need be only one scripture. Sri Krishna's divine Gita. Only one Lord. That same Krishna. The son of Devaki. Only one mantra. The chanting of his holy names. And only one duty. Devotional service unto that Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Ah, Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Okay, that's it. The holy name in the Bhagavad Gita in the study. Okay, so we'll ask you. Can you go around and collect all those? Or, yeah. All right, we collected them. Turn them in. All right. Did everybody like those skills? Okay, using your hand, compressing, and constant interaction. Because then you have it. You leave here and you have it. All right. The next important thing in instruction, because many of you are teachers, actually all of us teach knowingly or unknowingly. We call our process TL, teacher learners. What do we call it? Because everybody teaches by example. This little boy watches his mommy and daddy, and that's what he learns. And he's a learner, right? So as everybody's learning, today you've come to learn, have you not? Every day we learn something. Every day we teach. So we're all teacher learners, and we call this group teacher learner circles because we study together. There's strength in that. There's strength in that. Teacher learner circles. Now when we say teach, we have to state what we want to accomplish today. It's 4:10. And by 5 o'clock when we end, we have to accomplish something. What do we have to do? We have to accomplish something. We say that if we wish to go to Delhi, we hire a taxi. And he says, in 3 hours, I will take you to the airport. If he doesn't do it, have you accomplished your goal? No. And he hasn't, you've lost your money if you miss the flight. So teaching means the same thing. It means at the beginning, we have to say what we want to know by 5 o'clock. Know it. And I, as a teacher, have to figure out how we will do that. So we call this stating our O is for objectives. What is this? Objectives. Right. What do we want to accomplish today? So I have to make a promise to you that at 5 o'clock, You will know certain things. You will have certain skills, and you will have a change of understanding, values. So we have three kinds of objectives. We have knowledge objectives. What kind? Knowledge. Right, things that you will know you didn't know before. We will have skills objectives. What do we have? Skills objectives, and we will have values objectives. What will we have? Values objectives. In other words, knowledge requires skills to implement, and there should be a change of knowledge from knowledge to a change of heart. Otherwise, there's no transformation. Knowledge is just something you accumulate. So knowledge, skills, and values. What are the three things? Knowledge, skills. Now already we've had some skills, right? Using our hand, yo-yo drills, practicing, compressing words. All these are skills, and they're actually based on facts. It's not a concoction. Okay? So today, our objectives. We will do an overview of chapter 13. Very quickly. What will we do? Overview. Okay. We will, and you will know it. We will do topic breakdown. What will we do? Now draw as we say this. I want to see everybody's pen. Where's your slate? Yeah, get your slate out. You didn't come here. Everybody should not be taking notes in a book. You should be writing on the slate. Keep an eye on these newcomers. They're not used to this. Okay. Let's go over this again. There are three perspectives. Air, ground, and under the water. Okay, what are they? Air, ground, and under the water. All right. Now from the air, all drawing, keep an eye on everybody. Are you drawing over there? Keep an eye on each other. You have to be a study buddy. A study buddy means I remind my friend. Because the tendency is these habits are new. And most people are passive. And they just sit there. But why waste your life like that? You've worked lifetimes to get these minutes. Don't waste 1 minute in Krishna consciousness. Okay? Air, ground, underwater. The air gives us the big picture from the airplane, overview. When you're in an airplane, you can see everything, right? When you land, you walk on the ground, and you see what's on the ground. But if you want to go deep, you have to go into under the water. So we call this underview, where we go into the purports. Okay? So today, we are going to do an overview. What are we going to do? Overview of chapter 13 of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. And this we call it 1335. That's the number of verses in this chapter. Okay? The other thing you will learn the topic breakdowns. What will you learn? Right, this is getting on the ground about this chapter. How do we divide this chapter? Okay? And then the last portion of our time, we will go in depth into some of the definitions Prabhupada gets of terms. Okay? Now you all received little packets, right? Did you all get your little study packets? Right, I don't know if you got one. Here's one. You got your little study cards. I don't know if you got one. Okay. So these are our ATM cards. These are our investment cards. Now one other thing I'm going to request you do is if you're writing, please do not press on the slates. These slates don't hold up as well as they promise. So if you have to write, you have lap boards, right? So use those lap boards when you're writing. Don't put a book or something else on the slate to write. What do we not do? We don't what? We don't press on the board except with a magnetic pencil. Okay? because these slates aren't holding up that well. Okay, pack it. For you, Mommy. There you go. Okay, so we're all set now with the basics? Okay, here we go. We're opening up our computer to what book? Everybody write it fast. I don't want one person just sitting there like a potato. Nice and big. Your screen should look like mine. You see it? You say it? You hear it? And you write it at the same time. Why? Because your retention will go up to 70%. If you just sit there, it's only 20%. Why waste your time? Right? Why waste your time? Do you want 70 rupees or 20 rupees? What do you want?
70.
Yes. Unless you're foolish. And if you just read, you're only going to get 10 rupees. That's not very much. So that's why we give you skills. And if you just see something, you're going to get 50 rupees. That's better. But if you do all 4 things, you're going to get 70 rupees. And if you tell your study buddy, you're going to have 90 rupees. And that makes the preacher. So what do you guys want? 90. Do you want 10? 20? 30? 50? 70? You want 90? Yes, that's a smart investment. Okay. So everybody's got the statistics. Okay, so we've opened our Bhagavad Gita, and now we're going to open the computer to chapter what? 13. And we embed information. What do? Embed. You know, like if you get a thorn in your foot, it's embedded. So we double up material so you learn more. 13 has 35 slokas. Okay. So now everybody knows that. And we check. Does everybody know this? We don't go on until everybody knows it. Now open up your little book, 1881, really fast. And turn to the pages that are blue. Now those of you who have been doing this before, don't think you just wasted time and had a repeat class, because we have to go over this for everybody, but we're going very deep today. We have a lot to learn today. We have to know the overview. We have to learn key words. Everybody has to memorize the breakdowns. And everybody has to know the 20 items of knowledge, the process of knowledge, and the elements of the material nature. Okay? You all have the first page. The first page of the blue section gives you where we are. Chapter 13 is the first chapter of the Gyan section, right? Now we're not going to go into the size of the others. We've done that with other classes, but today we won't do that. Turn the page now. And you turn the page and you will see chapter 13, and in the middle you will see 35. And now we have to learn the title of this chapter. Okay, it has 3 words in it. Right? Right? Nature. You have to do a signal. The lower energy is nature. The enjoyer and consciousness. Those are the 3 key terms for this chapter. So what's the chapter title? Nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. All right, now everybody knows that? Okay, tell your partner really fast. What's the chapter title? Okay? Remember, we have to have 100% success. Nobody gets left. It's not a win-lose program here. It's win-win for everybody. Okay? And you'll see everybody's happy. Because the first thing that happens into a group when some are smart and some aren't so adept is the class divides. That's not good. Yeah, I think he's okay. Okay, are we ready now? You ready to learn more?
Yes.
Okay, you happy about this? So you know the title, you know the chapter, you know the size. Now we have to know the topics. How many are there? Do you see on the wheel? 5. You see the center? And there are 5, they look like chapatis. Right? How many topics are there? 5. Now we're going to learn them. The first thing we do when we learn, though, is we compress. What do we do first? We compress. Because if you try to learn it all, it's called mental indigestion. Right? If you eat too much food, what happens with your stomach? Indigestion. The same thing happens in learning. If you take on too much, even if you're a child or an adult, you get mental indigestion. Your mind can't take it all in, and it shuts down. And you shut off. You do. You say, I don't want to do that anymore. So you take it in appropriate units. If I gave you all a piece of cake, if you put the whole thing in your mouth, you will choke. Right? You'll choke. But you eat a bite at a time. So learning should be like that. 1 bite at a time, and I master every bite. What do? I master every bite. Okay. So the first topic, our key word is what? Kshetra. What's our key word? Kshetra. Now you'll see the little topics there. Now we're going to ask you to open another book. You're going to now keep 2 books side by side. Pretty soon you're going to have 3 and 4 books side by side. Take the study guide now. So you've got your little 1881, and now you're going to open up your study guide. In your study guide, you'll see where this information is coming from. And we're going to turn to page 61. What page? 61. Okay, quickly. Turn to page 61. Now you're going to keep 2 books side by side because you're ready to advance. And you'll see where the knowledge we have on our little mind map book is coming from. Is it 61? Is it 51? Okay. If I have my glasses on, I can't see far away. It's 51, sorry, 51. Chapter 13, you'll see in text form what you have in 18.1 in map form. So you have both books out now? You ready? Help each other. Help each other. Those of you who are here as usual ones, you should help others. 51, I'm sorry. If I don't have my glasses on, I can't see it so well. So you have both books open, and you have your slate. Okay, we just have a couple minutes now. We have to learn these topics really fast. Are we ready? Yes. All right. So you see here the 5 topics given under chapter 13. That's what's in your little book, but you also have it in a map form, which is easier to remember. That's another skill. Mind maps are very easy to remember. Text, very difficult to remember. Almost impossible. It's proven. Okay, so here we go. So now on your slate, you have, we're going to put a letter. We'll turn it this way. K is for what? Kshetra. Right. Kshetra. All right? Erase that. Our next key word. Our next key word is... Well, no, not there. We're not worried about that. The next one, the next word is process. 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 Did you all put a P? Yeah. What was your first word? Kshetra. Next word is what? Process. The next word is O for what? Object. Now we say the 3 words. Kshetra, process, object. Our next key word is union. What is it? Union. All right? And the last one is Vision. 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 Okay? All right, let's try those again. What's your first one? Kshetra. Writing is very important. And the letters should be big, like this. Billboard. Kali Yuga, Prabhus, is bad news. Don't make little tiny things. Big, like this. You should hold it up, and somebody can see it. Now, all of you hold it up. Let me see your K. Good. Kshetra. All right. That's your first signal word. Your next signal word is what? Process. Nice and big. Hold it up. I want to be able to see it. I don't want people just sitting there and pretending. Okay? The next word is what? Object. Object. Okay? The next one is what? Union. And the last one is what? Vision. All right? Now very quickly, put all 5 letters on your board. K, P, O, U, V. Do that really fast. K, P, O, U, V. Okay? Now tell your neighbor what they mean. Tell your study partner. Tell your study partner. Good. She got it. Right. Does Madhuri know them? Madhuri, do you know them? You know them? You know them. Okay. All right, you all know them? Now you're ready to go to the next higher state. You can add more now. It's building a building. You can't move up until you have a strong base. If you keep going higher and higher on toothpicks, what's going to happen? It's going to fall down. And you'll give up and you'll hate learning. You have to know how to learn. And you have to know how to teach. Because otherwise they'll hate you and they'll hate learning. Guaranteed. Right? That happens to most people. All right, so now we're going to add the whole thing. Let's go to number 1. Look at your study guide and look at your map. What's the rest of Kshetra? Kshetra and Kshetragya. Right. So that is our first topic. What's our first topic? Kshetra and Kshetragya. All right. Next one. We had a P was the key word, right? What's the whole thing? The process of knowledge. Okay? So we'll do signals for these. The first one was Kshetra? Kshetragya. They're different. Kshetra is the field, and Kshetragya is the knower, inside. That's who you are. You are not this. This is what you see, but that is not what you are. You are the witness. Okay? All right, so the P is for what? The process of knowledge. What's the P for? The process of knowledge. What's the first one? Kshetra and Kshetragya. Second topic is what? Process of knowledge. The third one is what? The object of knowledge. That's Krishna. The object of knowledge. That's the goal. All right? Now, let's go back again. Kshetra, Kshetragya. The process of knowledge, the object of knowledge. Now we're going to see what's our fourth topic. Okay? Prakriti, Purush, and their union. What is it? Prakriti, Purush, and their union. Okay, let's go fast. Kshetra, Kshetragya. Part 2 is the process of knowledge. Third one is the object of knowledge. Prakriti, Purush, and their union. And our last one is Gyan Chakshus. Gyan Chakshus. The vision of knowledge, right? Vision of knowledge, right? How to see through the scriptures. If you do not see through the scriptures, it means birth and death. That's why you have to know the scriptures. It's your way out. If you're in a fire and you're in a movie house and you see the exit sign, you're a fool not to take it. But you have to see the sign and read it and follow the sign. The scriptures are the exit sign. Samsara Davana. It's a fiery. This world is on fire. Not a joke. Right? Is it a joke? Okay, so everybody know the 5 topics now? Chaitra. Chaitragya. The process of knowledge. The object of knowledge. Prakriti, Purush, and their union. And Dhyan, Chakshus. Right, the vision of knowledge, and of eternity. Because this knowledge gives you eternity, not birth and death. That's your choice. Do you want eternity or more birth and death? Okay, so everybody know that. We accomplished that objective? All right. Now our next objective, because we've got that much, our next objective is to know the sections. We have to do this very quickly. And that's not that hard, really. It sounds scary, but we actually can do it. Because now you know 5 topics. Are you ready? Okay. Take out your slates. Big. What's your first key letter? K for Kshetra, right? Draw a line underneath. This is from 1 to what? 7. The first 7 verses. 1 to 7. Now you see you're in your little study packet. You have your little cards in there?
Yes.
Okay, if we have time, I don't want to take the time right now. You have little, one card has spaces. Okay, what you will do is on one side you will write Chaitragya, and then in the next space you'll write process of knowledge, and in the next space you'll write what? Object of knowledge. And the next you'll write Prakriti, Purush, and their union. And in the last one, you're going to write what? Vision of knowledge. Shastra Chakshus. Jnana Chakshus. Then you'll cut them, and on the back, you'll put these numbers. This makes a study cane. That way, if I see 1 to 7, I say, Chaitragya. Right? If I see 13 to 19, what do I say? Object of knowledge. If I say 8 through 12, what do I see? Process of knowledge, right. If I say 22, I believe it's 26? Right, Prakriti, Purush, and their union. And if I say 27 to 35? Chakshus. Okay, so let's do these really fast. Because you make this little game, and then you can flip them over either way. I know the topic, I know where it is, I know this, I know the location, I know the topic. Very quickly. All right, here we go. Kshetragya is where? 1 through 7. Chapter 13, verses 1 through 7. Okay, what's our next topic? This one is process. And that's very important. 8 through 12. 8 through 12. These are the 20 items of knowledge. You should know that because anything else is ignorance. And we want to try to learn that today. Okay? Now the next one is O for object of knowledge. Where's that? 13 to 19. 13 through 19. So our first section was 1 to 7. What's that? Chaitragya. What's 8 to 12? Process of knowledge. What's 13 to 19? Very good. Okay, what's our next code word? U for union. And where's that? 20 to what? 26. Prakriti, Purush, and their union. Okay, the next section is what? 27. This is Jnana Chakshus, right? Jnana Chakshus, the vision of knowledge. I think we put this, what was the letter I put? Vision. V. And that is from 27 to 35, because you know this chapter ends with 35 slokas. Quickly tell your partner all this really fast as you can, that you know it, and you show it on the board really fast. Don't get lazy about the board. This board is the key to success. It is the key to success. Neela, do it with her. Neela, do it with her. You have to help these people. Okay? Varsha, can you work with this Mataji a little bit? I mean, I don't know, but I just don't like people left out. Where you have three, it's sort of like you get a benefit, and then these people are alone. Okay. And keep going over it. Don't waste your time. Look at it again. Look at the book. Remind yourself. Go backwards, forwards. Remember, this is a cooperative. No one should be left out for any reason. Okay? Okay, are we ready for more information now? Okay, so we've met that objective. We know the chapter name. We know the topic names. We know their location. All right, now I'm going to let you do the little cards a little later. You can do that. You can write it in at home, cut them, and on the back you put the numbers. Because if we take the time to do that, we don't go more deeply. Now you have 2 blank cards, right? Take out your first blank card. And do you all have a pen? If you don't have a pen, there are pens on the table. One card is for keywords in this chapter. What's one card for? Keywords. Another card is for learning long lists. So today, we're going to try something. See if we can do it. You're going to have to really be attentive. But you're warmed. I think you're in gear. Is everybody in gear? Okay. Because we want to accomplish what most people will say, that's too hard. The minute Prabhupada would say, somebody said, oh, that's impossible, Prabhupada would say, that's a fool. So, of course, we want to be realistic, but at the same time, if something is difficult, we have to figure out how to make it easy. What do we have to do? Yeah, so we have to use our creative juices. How to make this easy. So far, has everything been easy? Yeah. Did you all learn something today? Okay. Okay. So now, are you ready for this? The section called Process of Knowledge. What's it called? Process of Knowledge. Where is it?
Chapter 13.
Right, chapter 13. How would you like to learn those 20 items? Would you like to learn those 20 items? Okay, here we go. 20. There are 20 items. Okay. Are you ready? Right. Now what you do is you take now the yellow book. You have this one? You open it up to chapter 13. Because I guarantee if you just try to read one verse after another, 10% is going to work. Who wanted, anybody here wanted 10%? No, you didn't want that. So we don't do it that way. So turn to page 133. Chapter 13. And now look what you know. Nature, enjoy your consciousness. You know the 5 divisions. Now this isn't such a mystery. You start plowing through the verses and it's like a forest and you get lost, right? And they start to sound the same and it doesn't mean too much. Are you doing okay with this? All right. Verses 8 through 12. You find it on your page? 13.8 through 12. Kamala Mataji, keep an eye on her. She needs help. I have to get on everybody's case. Be conscious of the person next to you. Do not be a selfish learner. Selfish learners mean I'm absorbed, I'm into it, forget about everybody. No, that's not our mission. Our mission is if you help someone else, you get Lord Chaitanya's mercy. If you want mercy from Lord Chaitanya, you have to help the mission. And it starts right next door. Doesn't it? It doesn't have to be in Africa. You can do it right next door. So if the person next to you isn't doing what we say, be conscious and help that person. Otherwise, you don't have the spirit. You don't have the spirit of Lord Chaitanya. Do you think we can make it in Kali Yuga without him? No way. No way. So be conscious of your neighbor, not just yourself. Yes, be conscious of yourself. And then turn around and see, is my neighbor with me? If you've gone on parikram and then they lose 5 people and you didn't care, that happens. That's not conscious, and it's certainly not Krishna conscious. Everybody agree?
Yes.
Am I being absurd?
No.
No. Okay. So now we have to learn, there are 20 items here. On your blank card, turn it this way. How are you going to turn it? This way. Horizontally. You ready? You're going to make 4 rows of chapatis with 5 chapatis in each row. What are you going to do?
4 rows.
Right. 4 rows. Quickly. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. I mean, if you're expert, and you do it on your little card. You can do it on your slate first, but do it on your card, because this is your investment, your ATM, your banking card. If you put it on a card, you have it. So you have 4 rows, 5 chapatis in each row. How many chapatis do you have?
I have
20 chapatis. How many items do we have to learn? 20. Good, very good math. Now we have about 2 minutes to learn them. Are you conscious now? You watching your neighbor? Okay. To be Krishna conscious, you have to be conscious. The first chapati, you put an H in it. H. H is for humility. That is the first item of knowledge. You cannot advance in Krishna consciousness without humility. Okay, we're going to do the first row really fast. Your second chapati, in that row, you put a, look at the book, it says what? Pridelessness. What letter you put? P. So what's your first letter? H. Second letter?
E.
What's H for? What's P for? Good. All right, your third chapati in the first row. NV. NV. Sometimes we'll put a lot of letters. NV. What's that mean? Non-violence. Okay, really fast. What's your first word? Second. Third one? Very good. Are you having fun? Right, very good. All right, your next one. Your fourth chapati. What does that one say? What's your fourth one? T. T. T is for what? Essential. The whole material world is designed to make you suffer. Adi atmika, adi bodhika, adi devika. It's too hot, that guy doesn't like you, and your body's giving you a hard time. Either one, two, or all three at once. The only way to get out of here is to tolerate it, because it'll never go away. No matter what you do, it's one or the other. So you tolerate. All right, humility. What was the first one? Humility, pridelessness, nonviolence, tolerance, and what's our fifth one? S. This means, simple means one. Duplicitous means two. Outside I'm one, inside I'm something else. No, no, no. That is the biggest obstacle to spiritual life. Do not be duplicitous. You'll never get Lord Chaitanya's mercy. Never, 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 never. Okay, so the first five are what? Humility, pridelessness, nonviolence, tolerance, and simplicity. Okay, we learned five. Let's go. Five more. Ready? Did you think you could do this? Yes, this is right. See if we can do this. All right, let's go to the second row. This is so important. The next item, approaching spiritual master. Approaching, well, I should put BSM. I'll put it again. Approaching a bona fide spiritual master. Because if he's not bona fide, is it going to help you? No. No. So we'll just do five at a time now. That's your first one in this row. Approaching a bona fide spiritual master. Okay, next thing. The second chapati in the second row. C, cleanliness. What is it? Cleanliness. So what was your first one? Approaching a bona fide spiritual master. We'll only do five at a time, okay? Because that's too much time to practice. Okay? And the second one is what? Cleanliness. All right, let's look at the third chapati in the second row. What's the next word? Steadiness. So we're going to put a big S with a little T. ST means steadiness. You have to be steady. If you do it one day and the next day you don't, and you're here, there, it is called flickering, restless. That doesn't get you anywhere spiritually. It's not the mode of goodness. Steady, 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 steady. What's your first one in this row? Approaching a bona fide spiritual master. Next one. Cleanliness. Next one. Steadiness. Okay, let's go to the fourth chapati in the second row. And what's this one? Yeah, we'll put SC. Self-control. You have to control yourself. You can't control anything else. You can't control the weather. You can't control another person. You can't control what happens to your body. You have to be able to control your self-control. Essential. That's what the whole yogic process is, self-control. All right? Approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, and the final chapati is, right one, this one, renunciation, R, of the objects of sense gratification. Renunciation of three things. The object of sense gratification. Okay? Let's go over that again. Approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, and renunciation of the objects of sense gratification. Now we've done half the job. Okay? Because if you walk away knowing this, you've learned something very important. These 20 items are considered knowledge. If it's not on this list, guess what? It's ignorance. So does everybody want to know what knowledge is? That's this. And you can know it now. All right, let's do row number 3. Our first chapati in row number 3. Absence of false ego. We'll put an A. Absence of what? False ego. Ego we have. We have a spiritual ego. False ego is this body. We took on a false identity to forget Krishna. You have to take on a false identity to do that. Absence of false ego. So in the 3rd row, your first chapati is absence of false ego. What's the second chapati in the 3rd row? What's your next item? Oh, so important. Perception of the evils. P-E. Perception of the evil. You know, the materialists think, oh, wow. Oh, there's a new baby. How cute. That soul's trapped. That's not cute. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. You know, you get a baby shower. Here's the new baby. Oh, my God. Okay, perception of the evils of what? Birth, old age, disease, and death. If you can't perceive that, you're going to think this is a great place to stay. Oh, it's fine here. It's wonderful. Let's go to that baby shower. Now, it's of course if it's some devotee thing, but still devotees should be aware, hey man, I got to get this kid out of the fire of the blazing forest fire of material life. Right? Perception of the evil. Now notice, you have to be able to perceive that. Most people walking around cannot. They think this is great. Old age. Well, of course they're afraid of that one. And disease they know. But they have forgotten what it's like in the womb. And death, they don't talk about it. Oh, we don't talk about it. That's a no-no. Perception of the evils. You see that word? Evils of birth, old age, disease, and death. That was our second chapati. What was your first one? Absence of false ego. These are very philosophically deep. The next one is what? Perception of the evils of birth, old age, disease, and death. What's the third chapati in the 3rd row? Detachment. Yes, D. Just detachment. You've got to be detached. If you're attached to anything in this world, what happens? You have to stay here. Anybody want to stay here? So you got to let go. They always do the example. Prabhupada says, somebody said to Prabhupada, oh, Maya's really got me. And Prabhupada said, well, you're holding on to it. you're let go. You're holding on to it. Maya's not holding on to you. You're holding on to it. Detachment. So the first one is what? Absence of false ego. Second one, perception of the evils of birth, old age, disease, and death. Third one is what? Detachment. Let go. Let go. Okay. Now the next one is freedom from entanglement. Now don't think we're out here to hate children, women, and home. No. Prabhupada explains these in the purport. If we have a little time, we could read how he explains these words. He gives you the Krishna conscious perception. But freedom from entanglement, unnecessary entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest. What is it now? Freedom from entanglement from children, wife, home, and the rest. It doesn't mean you should not have affection for them, but you should have affection in Krishna conscious understanding. Yes, I have to help this person get out of the wheel of birth and death. And you should feel that about everybody, not just your own child and forget everybody else's. That's kripana. You don't want to be a kripana. But you have to save yourself first. If you're drowning, you can't help another person. Okay? So your first one was what? Absence of false ego. Perception of the evil, birth, old age, disease, and death. The third one is what? Detachment. And then fourth one was freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest. Okay, and our last one is going to be? This one is, even-mindedness. Even-mindedness in both pleasant and unpleasant circumstances. Even-mindedness in pleasant and unpleasant circumstances. Now, Prabhupada to me was such an example of that because he was in New York and he was staying in a building where he had to go up the stairs, and all the people on the stairs were alcoholics, and they just stayed in these houses at night, and the smell of the vomit was on the stairway, and the vomit also. And Prabhupada used to walk up. Now you have to be even-minded to do that. I couldn't do that. This is a person who's on the transcendental platform. When people read about what Prabhupada did, many people became devotees just because they read about what he was able to do. Okay, let's go over the other ones first. Absence of what? False ego. Perception of the evil, birth, old age, and disease. Okay? Right. Detachment, freedom from entanglement, children, wife, home, and the rest. And the final one is even-mindedness in pleasant and unpleasant circumstances. So that's your third row chapatis. You got it? Is this helpful today? Yes. This is probably one of the most important sections in the Gita. All right, let's take our last row. And we'll see that there are some ways to link some of these. Your first chapati in the last row. Our next item is very important. Constant and unalloyed devotion. Constant, that means no break. Unalloyed, no motive. No break, no motive. Constant and unalloyed devotion unto me. Now, Prabhupada explains, if you, of the 20 items, if you get 19 and you don't get this one, they don't mean anything. If you get this one, all the others come automatically. That's what we were talking about the other day. That's what he says. Constant and unalloyed. That means 24/7, no motive. Okay? That's the first chapati in the last row. Notice these are becoming very important now down here. They're all important. This is very important. What's our second chapati in the last row? Because we're almost done with the 20 items. What's our next one? Aspiring to live in a solitary place. Now, of course, devotees sometimes have to live in the middle of a big city or in an ashram with 35 people for a higher purpose. But basically, especially in Vedic times, people would go off to the forest. And you definitely don't want to live in a place where it's non-devotees. That doesn't help. Aspiring to live in a solitary place. Okay. But for the sake of Krishna consciousness, we do come together for strength. By yourself, nirjan bhajan, almost not possible this age. So the next item is related. Okay? Detachment from the general mass of people. Same thing. We're talking about people in general. You don't want to just hang out with everybody walking up and down the street. Right? You see them as souls, and you try to help them some way through Harinam, Kirtan, something, Prasadam. But you don't just hang out with them. So detachment from the general mass of people. So what was your first one again? Constant and unalloyed devotion.
Aspiring to live.
Okay. Okay. And the next one was aspiring to live in a solitary place. And the next one, the third one, was detachment from the general mass of people. We're almost there, only 2 left. Pretty good. The next one, accepting the importance of self-realization. So you put A-I-S-I. Just use a code. This is how they do chemistry. They put H for hydrogen. They don't keep saying hydrogen, 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 hydrogen. They say H. Accept the importance of self-realization. You know, use the things that other departments and aspects of knowledge use. Chemistry, physics, we do the same thing. Accepting the importance of self-realization. If you don't think self-realization is important, you're going to stay here. Because you're not this, the self is not this body. The whole world's walking on a false premise. They think they're this body. And everything else is wrong that they think. It's like 2 + 2 is 5. That's wrong. I am this body. No, you're not. Self means the soul inside that's watching this body, and he's trapped. And he's trying to get out if he has any good fortune. If he's fortunate. Okay, let's quickly run through the first one, the last row. Constant and unalloyed devotion unto me. The next one is aspiring to live solitary place. The third one is detachment from the general mass of people. Fourth, accepting the importance of self-realization. And the final one is what? Right. The exact word is the philosophical search for the absolute truth. Because this is a very high philosophy. Krishna consciousness is the topmost philosophy. It's the topmost science. Philosophical search for the that's what we're doing in these classes. We are studying the absolute truth. Okay, so you got that one? Okay, can I have a couple more minutes of your time? Anybody mind? Turn your card over. That one you just did, your little card. Did you all make your little cards? Do you have all the circles with the codes?
Yes.
Does she have hers done?
Yes.
You check your study partner. Of course, these people... It would have actually been better that one of them sat here, and that would have been better. Let's switch. Well, it's a little late, but we should have put her with you and her with you, because that way there would have been more community. See, a teacher can plan. This student can help that student. No one should be left out. That was my bad planning, because these two already know, and then these two are out of it. So, see, you buddy up. You take the weak one with the strong one. Okay? When you see someone's weak, you put him with someone strong. That way you don't get the split class. That happens all the time. It's going to happen all the time. But that doesn't mean you have to accept that. You don't have to accept it. You have to think, how do I overcome this? Okay? Okay. That, we should have done that from the beginning. See, that's my fault. That's my fault. Okay? Are we ready now? You've turned your card over. Now, go up to verse 6 through 7. 13 point on your book. You see your book? 13.6 through 7. You see it? 13. These are the elements of the material nature. What is this? Elements of the material nature. It's a big list. But this won't be that hard because you're familiar with much of this. Okay? She should not be writing on the board. Do not press on the surface of the board. I don't want to sound dictatorial, but you have to keep reminding people. Okay, are we ready? 6 through 7. Now, we don't have a complete description what this is there, so I'm going to open up my, because I don't want to take time to get the little book out. All right, and Prabhupada explains these in the purport. What you have in your book is the 5 great elements: false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses, the mind, the 5 sense objects, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, life symptoms, convictions. All these are considered to be the field of activities. This is Kshetra. What is it? Kshetra. This is the field. It is not you. You are Kshetra. Yeah. But you now have to know the field. You have to understand it because you're stuck in it. So here, now we have to quickly learn this. All right? What you need to do on the back of your card is turn it this way. Okay? Turn it this way. And really quickly, follow my code. Ready? You're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. Okay? Now wait a minute. Wait a minute. On the back of the card that you just did. Okay? Because the other card is for key terms. Ready? You got to get 8 rows in of little circles now, little tiny ones. Okay? Your first row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tiny chapatis now. Because remember, you got to have 8 rows of these chapatis. Some chapatis, one chapati for the row. Did you get 5 little circles? Okay. Next one. 3 in there. 1, 2, 3. How many? 3. So your first row had 5 chapatis. Now do you have your card going the long way? Because if you have it going in the wide way, it's not going to work. Everybody got it? Okay. The next row. 5 chapatis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many chapatis? 5. So 5, 3, 5. Now this takes a little time, but it makes it easy. This is your investment of time. You have to invest. Next row, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many? 5. So we have 5, 3, 5, 5. The next row, 1. How many? 1. 5, 3, 5, 5, 1. Next row. 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 3, 5, 5, 1, 5. Okay, everybody got it? Check your partner. If somebody's not doing it, I blame the buddy. I blame the buddy. I don't blame the person that's sitting there spaced out. That means you don't care. Kripana. Kripana. Does anybody here want to be a Kripana? No. A Brahmana cares. That's Prabhupada uses those terms. A Brahmana cares. Kripana, selfish. I'm okay. That's his tough love. Next life, you'll be there. And somebody won't help you. Right? That's how it works. That's you get what you deserve. Get what you deserve. 5, 3, 5, 5, 1, 5. Okay, and then the next one, I don't have room here. 4. And the last is 3. Okay, now we're running over a little bit, but we're going to put in the letters really fast. Okay, ready to fill in the letters? Okay. So I have to go on my slate now to the book, the purport. And I don't want you to take the time to get the book out because we don't have that time. All right, in your first row, the 5, they call it, Prabhupada writes in the purport, but we're not going to take the little book out. So just listen. In the purport, according to Vedanta Sutra, your first 5 japatis, earth, water, fire, air, ether. So put E, W, F, A, E. E for earth, W for water, F for fire, A for air, E for ether. These are called the Mahabhuta, the 5 great elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. And remember, study buddy, if your neighbor isn't doing it, you're a creeping out. These are the Mahabhuta, the 5 gross elements. Okay? You doing okay? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. From gross to subtle. All right. The next 3. False ego. F-E. False ego. That's your first one in the next row. F-E. False ego. These are the, well, you're getting 2 of the subtle elements here. False ego. And in the next one, I for intelligence. He doesn't put the mind here. No, not here. No. You put false ego, intelligence, and then P for pradhan. The unmanifested nature. Because material nature is eternal. But it's either manifest or unmanifest. So F-E for false ego. I for intelligence. P, pradhan, the unmanifested. P, pradhan, unmanifested nature. You got that so far? Everybody got it? Okay? Are you clear on this? This is a very important list because we are in this field and its interaction. Okay. Next. 5 senses. We have 5, the next row of 5. Here are your 5 senses. Your first, there are 5 senses. E for eyes. E for ears. N for nose. T for tongue. S for skin. What are they? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. Check your partners. Make sure you got it. Repeat it to each other. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. All right? Do you mind that we're running over? Because this is very important. You should know these elements. This is on tests. You'll have to, on exams, they have to list all these. All right, next. The next row of 5. You have 5 working senses. 5 working senses. Okay. Voice, V. Voice. Next one. L, legs. Next. H. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I put? Yeah, I skipped the one. Yeah. M. The one was M for mind. Mind. Yeah. I'm sorry. I skipped the middle circle. M is for mind. The one. By itself. Okay. We're on the 4th line. So then, yeah. Sorry, Neela. Don't confuse me. All right, let's go back. Our 4th line down. Voice, legs, hands, anus, genitals. Those are the 5 working senses. V for voice, L for legs, H for hands, A for anus, G for genitals. Check your partner. Make sure that they have this. Okay, got it? The one by itself is the mind. It is called the 11th sense by Prabhupada. The one by itself is M, the mind. It is called the 11th sense because it directs the others. So put an M. That one little japati by itself is the mind. And you see how powerful it is, right in the middle. M for middle of everything. It is the basis of yoga, controlling the mind. Okay, quickly. Next 5 japatis, right? These are the objects of the senses. There are 5. The first one is smell. That's the earth. You'll notice there's a E. The earth has smell, fragrance. Next, taste. The taste of water, remember? Taste of water, fragrance of the earth. Because each of these has fewer and fewer. Earth has all of them. Water has 4. Fire has 3. Okay? Smell, taste, form. Form is for fire. You need light to see. Right? You have to have light to see. The next one is T for touch. The skin. Right? The air. You can you feel the fan? Touch. Yes, air. Movement of the air. Touch. And the last one is sound. Now think of chapter 7 of the Gita. I'm the taste in water, the fragrance of the earth, the sound in ether. That's what we're talking about here. These are the objects of the senses. Everybody understand that? So your first one, smell, taste, form, touch, and sound. Ether. Sound is in the ether. By the way, sound is never lost. If you say something, it's forever. That's why it's very important not to lie. If you tell somebody, I'm going to do that, and you don't, that's up there. So be careful what you say. All right, you got that? All right, the last ones now. You have 4 here, right? And I'm using sort of a memory trick here. The first one starts with D, and there are 2 H's and then a D. Desire and hatred, these are the opposites. Desire, I want. Hatred, I don't like. This is the whole material creation. I like this, I don't like that. That's what keeps us here. I want this, I don't want that. That keeps us here. Desire, hatred, and what's the result of that? Happiness and distress. DH, HD. Desire, hatred, happiness, and distress. And Prabhupada says these are the manifestations of the actions of the gross material elements. That's what you're going to feel. You're going to feel distress, you're going to feel happiness, you're going to feel desire, you're going to feel hatred. These are the manifestations of the gross interactions. Now the subtle ones, our last three. Desire, hatred, happiness, and distress. These are the result of the interactions of the gross elements. Now the last three are the interactions of the subtle ones. And in this list, they give the terms which we're going to use. Life symptoms. Now Prabhupada uses the word consciousness. You can either write LS or C for consciousness, because the symptom of consciousness is life, the life symptoms. If it's conscious, it has life, right? And the next one is, they have here also aggregate. He reverses it a little bit when he talks about it. He said, consciousness and convictions are manifestations of the subtle body. Let us put, actually, I should have put A for aggregate next. A for aggregate, LS or C for life symptoms, and the last one is convictions. These, Prabhupada writes, are manifestations of the subtle body. In other words, how do we know we have a subtle body? Some people don't know that. Well, there's consciousness. So aggregate, life symptoms is consciousness, because it's a little confusing. When he explains the terms here, he uses sometimes a different one. According, we go by the book, aggregate is the first one, A. Next one would be life symptoms, and their last one would be convictions. A, LS, convictions. Now Prabhupada uses the term consciousness for life symptom, because that means something's alive. It has consciousness. When the consciousness is gone, the body's dead. Everybody got it now? Now these are your little ATM cards. You've made an investment. This is a handy little thing. And in your packet, you will keep this and you will finish your other ones. Now, I'm going to give you one last thing. I know I'm keeping you over, but it's very important. Turn to sloka number 23. 23. This one is quoted all the time. And you have to know these words. So on your other blank card, these are very, just like you had to learn Prakriti, Purush, Kshetra, Kshetragya. I know I'm keeping you over, but this is so important. There are 6 terms here for describing the super soul. How many terms? 6. This sloka. 23. And on the test, they require you to know the Sanskrit. So turn to your book to sloka number 1323. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul. So now we're going to give you the words. You don't have the Sanskrit. And if you later go to your Gita, Upadrasta. Can you say Upadrasta? Upadrasta. Overseer. Krishna sees everything. What does he do? He sees everything. So on your back, on the back of your one side, I can't enlarge. Maybe I can enlarge this. Yay! Can you see it? Can you all see it? What is that? Upadrasta. Write that word down. Upadrasta. On the back of your third card, write you should know this. Upadrasta means what? Overseer. What's the word again? Upadrasta. So write that first. Upadrasta means what? And next to it, you write what it means. Overseer. Krishna sees everything. You can't get away from him. You cannot get away from him. What's the Sanskrit? Upadrasta. Now I'm keeping you, but I think this is very important. I wouldn't keep you. This is very important. Okay, the next thing that they give you. Anumanta. Can you write that word? Anumanta. 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 Please write that. The second word down on the back of your card. This is very important. You keep these little study cards. Because if you've learned these 20 items, if you learn the elements, and you know these 6 words, you really have a deep understanding of this chapter. Anumanta, and what does that mean? He's the permitter. If somebody does something, Krishna had to okay it. Nothing happens without his sanction. Even if it seems bad to us. He is the permitter. He sanctioned it. Anumanta. He is the what? He is the permitter. So if something is happening, you have to say, well, who sanctioned it? Super Soul. Super Soul. Super Soul is neutral. Krishna can help you. Super Soul is neutral. Super Soul is neutral. He lets you do what you want to do. You want to go to hell, you can go to hell. You want to go to him, you can go to him. He's neutral. He permits. Upadrasta, Anumanta. Also, next one. Bharta. Bharta. Long A. Bharta. So that's your third word. B-H-A-R-T, long A. Bharta. Can you all see it? That was your third word. Right after that, the word is what? Master. He's the master. He's in charge. He's the overseer. He's the permitter. And he's the master. Okay? Next. He is the Bhokta. B-H-O-K-T-A. Bhokta. Long A. Bhokta. Bhokta is supreme enjoyer. He is the supreme enjoyer. We are little enjoyers. We actually shouldn't be. We're trying to imitate. He is the supreme enjoyer. Bhokta. The next word is Maha. Maha dash. Do you see it? Maha. And the next word is Ishvaraha. Maha Ishvaraha. Maha-Ishvaraha. You see it? Okay. He is the Supreme Lord. He is the Supreme Lord. Ishvara means the Lord. He is the Supreme Lord. He is the Paramatma. Everybody knows that one. He's the Paramatma. So they have the word Parama, Atma, Paramatma. He is the Super Soul. That one you all know. And the last one is Purusha Paraha. Param Purusha, the supreme enjoyer. Transcendental enjoyer. The word Param, Paraha, and Purusha, transcendental enjoyer. Yeah, well actually in the text, it's Purusha Paraha. Purusha Paraha. That is the final description. Purusha Paraha. He's the transcendental enjoyer. Okay, and we will stop there. Please forgive me, we ran over. But I really wanted you, if you know these terms, if you know these 20 items, if you know the material elements, if you know the meaning of Kshetra, on the back you should write the meaning of Kshetra, Kshetragya, Prakriti, Purush, these key words, and knowledge and Nayam, object of knowledge. If you know those key words, this chapter means a lot to you. And one should always see with the vision of knowledge. Okay, so this little boy is going to distribute the prasadam while you put what belongs to the class neatly, quietly in the tray. The packets are yours to keep, and the mind maps are yours to keep.
I think what you call this 14 desire, happiness, happiness, and distress.
Yes.
You call this 4 as?
Those four, those are called, Prabhupada explains, those are manifestations of the interactions of the gross material elements.
What?
They are manifestations of the gross material elements. You'll read that in the purport. And the subtle manifestations are consciousness, convictions. In the purport, it's clear. We didn't have time to read Prabhupada's description of the 20 items of knowledge. If you have time, go home tonight and read the purport. What does he mean by nonviolence? What does he mean by humility? Nonviolence means you tell people they're the soul. If you don't tell people they're the soul, you're committing violence. You're keeping them in bondage. Read Prabhupada's, that's your underview. You should do that. Thank you for coming today. Sorry we ran over. We got a late start and we had to spend a lot of time orienting the visitors, but we have to be brahmanas, not kripanas.
Books and states of
Yeah.
books and states.
Okay. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanibho vaishnavibhyo namo noha. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Again, apologies, our flight got a late start. We had to run late, but we wanted to make sure you were all, especially some of you who are here visiting for a short time, you benefited as much as we could allow.